Good afternoon and welcome to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. We've got a clash of African heavyweights in opposing corners today as TP Mazembe and Esperance lock horns in the first leg of the third quarter-final of this brand new African Football League. Congolese giants Mazembe and Tunisian titans Esperance have a combined 9 African Champions League titles between them. Something we'll have to give over the next few days in the quest for glory, with 8 of the continent's leading clubs battling it out in the hope of winning the $4 million prize for the champions. Well, so far we've seen the record 11-time and reigning African champions Al Ahly of Egypt held to a 2-2 draw by Tanzanian Simba in a thrilling opening match here at the same venue, the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium on Friday. And the winner of that tie looks set to face Mamelodi Sundowns, who came away with a 2-0 victory yesterday against Petro Atletico in Angola. 2 second-half goals, putting the South African champions in the driving seat after a starring display by their goalkeeper, Ronwin Williams. I'm delighted to be sat alongside Asamoah GYAN once more. Asamoah, thanks for being with us again. Just first question for you, what are your impressions so far on this tournament?
Yeah, I think it's been very, very impressive so far, especially the underdogs. We witnessed a very, very good game, the opening game, and then yesterday was a cracker also. You could see everybody is getting involved, and honestly, I'm very, very impressed with the way the African Football League is going so far, and it's going to go places. You know, everybody has been involved since, and two games has been wonderful. Everybody has put up a great performance.
Well, I think we're all set for a third fantastic battle this afternoon. The Esperance coach, Tarek Tabet, who we'll get to later, spoke in the build-up to this one about the recent meetings between his side and TP Mazembe, saying that whenever these two clubs get together, it's something special. His side are very much prepared for the challenge. They faced off 8 times over the past decade or so, including in the 2010 final when TP Mazembe ran out 6-1 winners. But it was Esperance who had the last laugh 4 years ago in the 2019 semi-finals, winning 1-0 on aggregates before going on to lift the trophy for the 4th time in club history. And it's Kevin Mondeko, the TP Mazembe skipper, who's out for revenge this afternoon, looking to set the record straight. He was part of that Mazembe side, beaten in the competition 4 years ago by the Tunisian side. A wonderful venue this, the 60,000 seater stadium. A packed house for the game between Simba and Al Ahly on Friday. A really fascinating start to the competition with a 4-goal thriller. It was Ahly who struck first in that game before Simba rallied after half-time, taking the lead, ultimately had to settle for a draw. We're back here 48 hours on for the third of the quarterfinals, the first leg between Mazembe and Esperance. Mazembe been a very difficult side to break down so far this season, yet to concede a goal in 8 outings. You see things playing out today, Asamoah?
Yeah, I'm very, very impressed with their stats. You know, a team playing 8 games without conceding, it's a huge boost for the defense. You could see there's something good in our defense. They are doing something right in the defense. You know, so defensively, they are ready, and I think mentally they're also ready going into this game.
Well, Esperance's 6-year reign in Tunisia was ended last season by Etoile du Sahel. Be looking to make things right this season. Also been drawn with Etoile du Sahel in this season's CAF Champions League in Group C. They'll also come up against Al Hilal Omdurman of Sudan and Angola's Petro Atletico. But the focus this afternoon very much on this quarter-final in the African Football League. TP Mazembe, 5-time African champions, the last of those titles though coming back in 2015. Haven't quite reached the same heights in recent seasons. And they've brought back Lamine Ndiaye, the Senegalese, for another spell in charge, reappointed in April. After a number of stops around the continent, he was the man in charge when Mazembe thrashed Esperance in the 2010 final. We'll be hoping for a similar outcome over the next few days. The second leg scheduled for Wednesday in Tunis, so a quick turnaround for these two sides. As the two teams make their way out, with the kickoff fast approaching here in Tanzania's largest city. Well, 6 goals in 2 games to this point. What we see over the course of the next 90 minutes. Esperance have started the domestic season very well indeed. Just the 2 dropped points from a possible 15 so far. Top of their group with 13 points. So got through the second round of Champions League qualifying. A tie that was decided by just a solitary goal against AS Douane of Burkina Faso. Penalty in the first leg. The difference, Tugai, the man on the score sheet. Look at today's match officials. And now the TP Mazembe starting 11 selected by Lamine Ndiaye. Abadjo Siadi in at goal. Kevin Mondeko, the experienced centre-back, alongside Magloire Ntambwe in the heart of defence. Let's look out for leading the line at Jake Fofana, the 19-year-old Malian striker, signed from Real Bamako in July and scored in both legs of the Champions League qualifier against Malawian champions Niassa Big Bullets. That's how they won 5-0 on aggregates. So Mahmoud Ismail from Sudan, a man in the middle for this contest. Mohamed Amin Ben Hamida wearing the captain's armband for Esperance. Look inside the video replay booth. The starting 11 for Esperance and their coach Tarek Tabe. Yassine Meria, he's scored 3 times in the first 5 league games this season for Esperance. Was involved in international action recently. A couple of trips to the Far East to take on South Korea and Japan. Usman Takar was signed from Monastir in July, operating in midfield. And up front, the 18-year-old from Gambia, Kebaso, signed on a season-long loan from AS Suleiman. Just taken over the reins at Esperance, Tarek Tabe, a long-time former Esperance defender, as well as a Tunisian international. Played at the 1998 and 2002 World Cups. The final few words of motivation inside the Esperance huddle. Siadi just wants a feel for the ball as well before this game gets underway. There's Lamine Ndiaye, the 65-year-old, previously at Horoya, as well as with Al Hilal in Sudan. Quick check of the referee's watch. And away we go. The first leg of this 3rd African Football League quarter-final between TP Mazembe, 5-time African champions, and Esperance, the Tunisians, who have gone on to be crowned Kings of Africa on 4 occasions Most recently in 2019 when they beat TP Mazembe on the way to winning the crown. An early touch here for Ciedi, taking the safest option, just launching it upfield. Early touch as well for the right back, Mohamed Ben Ali. Area coming short for it is Zakaria El Ayab, 23-year-old, making his fourth straight start in all competitions. He made an impression towards the end of last season. Stepped in nicely and read play well there, did Ibrahim Keita. Allowed to carry on. And it's Esperance looking to counter here. Could this be the first real opening inside the opening at 90 seconds of the match? It's pulled back here, laid off. Now, was that the best option? Shot on goal. Relatively straightforward save from Ciedi. Selfless from Kebaso, laying it off. He perhaps been better served having a shot himself there?
Yeah, I think so. I think he should have had a better shot for himself, and he decided to lay it off. But as a striker, when the ball falls in that position, I think he should have tried and score by himself. Just a first touch, control, and then he can shoot by himself. That would have been a goal or something.
Is that perhaps something you learn as over time? He's only 18 years of age. Is that something you kind of develop with experience?
Yeah, I think experience counts, and definitely after the game he will watch the clips, and that is where he will start learning from. He's trying to be a team player, but sometimes as a striker you need to go by yourself, take responsibility.
Good overlapping run here, trying to just slide it in behind the defender, Ben Hamida, the Esperance captain. Easy dealt with though by the Mazembe back line. Brought under control by El Ayab. Once again, Ben Hamida making inroads down that left-hand side, showing his intentions early on here. Mazembe finally getting a hold of the ball, but sooner did things look promising when the attack quickly broke down, with Glody Leconza losing possession. He's been at the club since 2017. Leconza did have a 6-month loan spell in Belgium with Standard Liège, but didn't get to make a first team appearance. Knocked out by Tambwe for an Esperance throw. And Hamida found a teammate here, and rather snatching at it was Asamoah Bugera. Signed in July from Olympic Beja. A couple of assists in the most recent league game for Esperance. There's also Bugera, who got the winning goal on the Tunisian Cup final last season against Esperance. 1-0 the score in the final. That was after Beja won on penalties the 4 previous rounds. Having fallen victim to Bugera on that occasion, Esperance decided to snap him up in the transfer window. A shot of Tarek Tabit there, who took over earlier this month following the resignation of Muin Chibani. Been serving as the club's sporting director, Tarek Tabit. Currently in charge on an interim basis, but perhaps the job could be his in the long term if he does prove a success. brought down here by Kinzumbi. Again, attack breaks down pretty quickly, but it's going to be a free kick for Esperance. I just want to ask you, Asamoah, what's that kind of transition like, you know, going from sporting director to coach?
I think it's quite interesting there, but you know, being a sporting director, I think you need to get a football background. You need to get a coach's background. I think he's got the license. He's been there before, so it shouldn't be a problem, because I've seen some before when I was playing in Rennes and everything. You know, so all he needs is the support from the fans. You know, they have to trust this project. And then we see within these few days if they could land him a job. It depends on his performance.
Well, he's certainly got the experience as a player. Whether that translates to success in the dugouts, time will tell. Cross here, and it's a chance early on. And it's volleyed straight at Siadi. Hit it well enough, Bugera. Caught it on the volley, but right at Siadi. Fortunately for Mazembe.
And what I've observed from this TP Mazembe is they defend too deep, and it's going to cost them if they don't do anything about it. You could see the centre back even alone over there, and it's for me, I think it's not a good sign for them.
Lucky to get away with that one. There's plenty of space for Bugera to peel away from his mark, and they could be in trouble again here, Mazembe. Numbers forward for Esperance. It's pulled back. Bugera once more. Shoots again, closed down this time by Keita, but warning signs there for the Congolese side. Back it comes in, and it's Keba So lays it off to Bugera. So tries to keep it in. Lands on the roof of the net. Well, they haven't conceded so far this season, but it's certainly not the most promising of signs early on here for Mazembe defensively.
Yeah, I'm even surprised how they went on beating, because the way they defended now is too deep. They defend too deep, and I'm not really impressed with the way they're defending so far. Maybe Esperance is doing something right, which I can see, but they're defending too deep, and it's going to cost them with a team like Esperance.
Esperance again looking to build an attack. Bugera, he's seen plenty of possession early on. He's had the game's best chance as well so far. Bugera plays it off, to get the 1-2. Cut out on that occasion, but this will go. It's going to be a foul here for the Tunisians. It is Zadim. Had a spell playing in Latvia with Valmiera, the Esperance midfielder. And Hamida. Bugera. Hamida shifts it inside. Ben Hamida and lays it off to Bugera. Bugera looks to swing it in. Just managed to poke that backwards. Elayab. Maria. It's been the club for just over a year now. Yassine Maria. Played at the last two World Cups for Tunisia, as well as the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. Our side reached the semi-finals. Missed out though at the start of 2022. It was sidelined by a serious knee injury. Zumbi easily read by the defence. Mondeko. On the Confederation Cup with the TP Mazembe in 2017 at Kevin Mondeko. They've struggled on the continent in recent times. Mazembe failing to qualify for the Champions League. The previous two seasons are back in the 16-team group stage. This time around, however, using a side in the Asa Big Bullets, are 5-0 on aggregates. rewards as a spot alongside Mamelodi Sundowns and a pair of newcomers, Pyramids of Egypt, who finished second in the Egyptian top flight last season, as well as Nouadhibou of Mauritania, the first club from that country to make the group stage of Africa's Champions League. It's Keita whose attempted cross is charged out by Bugera. Work short this corner. Kinzumbi whips into the far post, and we have the opening goal. 11 minutes gone, and it's a powerful header from Cheikh Fofana. Well, he's been banging form in recent times. Very much a player to keep an eye on, and so it's proved. The first real chance for Mazembe, and they have punished Esperance. Lovely ball swung in towards the far post. Brilliant header as well, plenty of pace on it, too much for the goalkeeper to handle, and Mazembe have the lead. I'm not entirely sure we saw that coming based on the first 10 minutes, but you know, football's a funny old game, and Mazembe have seized upon their opportunity.
For me, you can't keep Benai when you are marking zone. You know, he's a bit shorter player who can should have been out from the box. You know, you saw him kept watching the ball, and the striker was a tall striker who is also a confident striker. So when you leave somebody like that, he's gonna make sure he gets the ball down. But marking a zone, you shouldn't put short players when you're marking zone, and that is what caused our Esperance.
All the goals have been coming regularly for Fofana. Another one of them this afternoon. It's importantly one that's given TP Mazembe the lead early on here in this first leg of this quarter-final. Well, they had gone at 4 games in a row against Esperance without scoring. They have ended that barren streak, thanks to the teenager Cheikh Fofana. Bugera. So pulls it back. Well defended on that occasion, but a little bit too casual, and Esperance might have an opportunity yet. Stayed down. Looks like it's Sinagacha. It's Mutez Zadim, in fact, the number 19. Well, they say you're often at your most vulnerable just after scoring a goal, and again, Mazembe not the most convincing defensively there. They did well in the end, but Esperance certainly going right down the other end and pulling level.
Yeah, it looks like they've been defending deep, as I was saying. It looks like it's been working for them. They've been defending throughout their games, the previous games, and for me, I'm not still convinced with the way they are defending, but it looks like it's working for them.
Well, it's a brand new tournament with a $4 million prize check awaiting the victors. There's been no real sense so far of teams just, you know, kind of working out how they're going to approach this competition. They all seem to be really going for it early on.
Yeah, for me, it's a new competition, so everybody wants to make sure he goes to the books, the history books, of being the first team to win it. You know, so it's a very good thing for all the teams participating.
Very open start to proceedings in Dar es Salaam. Siedi. Was in goal during Mazembe's run to the semi-finals of the CAF Confederation Cup in 2022, and that's a dangerous place to lose the ball. Fortunately, Decker was there to bail out his teammates. Keita. Joined in July from Paris-based Bobigny, club in the 4th tier of French football. Ibrahim Keita. Mauritania international. Fofana was looking for a bit of help there. Layup. No one home, just giving the ball away rather cheaply. Deco. Tala. Nice first touch from Badamasi, the Niger international. Cross towards the near post. Ball held up and then laid off, and a real mess of that strike. Hamida. Beaten to it is Kebaso. Mondeko has the ball at his feet. Scored in the second leg of the 4-0 victory against the Asa Big Bullets in the second round of Champions League qualifying. Finished 5-0 on aggregate that time. A victory in the first leg in Lilongwe. Deco taking charge with the header. This will be Mazembe's ball. So the youngster in attack for Esperance. And to drive forward, Husam Hacha has been a virtual ever-present this season from the wing, the left-footed player. Mamu started the last league game in the Tunisian top flight with Mohamed Amin Tougai suspended. Here's a red card against CS Faction. Tougai named among the substitutes for this encounter. The Algerian international. Just 19 years of age, Aminala Mamish, given the nod once more ahead of the vastly experienced Moeza Ben Sharifa. He's made nearly 400 appearances for Esperance. Guerra made it off first time and then was caught slightly by his opponents. For a word of warning for Ibrahim Keita. Well, a good number of TP Mazembe fans have made the trip from the Democratic Republic of the Congo for this match. Guerra doing well to hold off his man. Well, they've fallen behind Esperance, but should they be overly concerned based on what you've seen so far, Asamoah?
So far, I think their build-up has been very, very slow. You know, although they had their first chance of the game, but their build-up has been very, very, very slow. It looks like TP Mazembe has been very, very aggressive in midfield, and they are not allowing Esperance to have their game. And it's been very, very interesting though. But I think the build-up of Esperance has been very slow. They need to lift up their game, and we see what happens.
We've got a free kick here, the visiting side. It's going to be Martyn to whip it in. It's away relatively easily by the Mazembe defence, and on a free kick as well. Disappointing there, that delivery in. I mean, Ben Hamida, just in discussion with the referee, it was his elbow that's caught the side of Philip Kinzumbi. Tambwe. And it's Keita who hits the deck. Decision going his way. Part of a Mauritania side that has qualified for its third straight Africa Cup of Nations. Never appeared at the competition before 2019, but set to make a third successive trip to the finals in the Ivory Coast. Start of 2024. Galamulume with Mondeko. Keita. He was looking further ahead for Kinzumbi. Two weren't quite on the same page there. And it's Ben Hamida once more leading the counter. Sliding intervention made by Keita. A 2-1 win against Gabon on match day 6, ensuring Mauritania their place in next year's Africa Cup of Nations. Count. That's 1-2 there. Ball in, and it's far too close to Siedi. Trying to calm things down. This team on top here. Whether the early storm looked a little bit shaky at the start, but since then they've really grown into their game, and that the goal seems to have settled them down.
Yeah, I think their confidence level is beginning to go higher, and then when you have a confident team, you can do anything. And I think the goalkeeper, as you said, he's trying to calm things down to make sure they rest a bit. You know, you can see the weather conditions has not been favoring them. You could see players getting tired. You know, so this is where you should use your experience, and that is what they are doing. They are calming things down. They are 1-0 up, and they are calming things down. And I think it's a good thing for them. And defensively, as we said, they've been very, very good, although I'm not impressed with the way they are defending so deep. And that is what I'm worried about. But they are 1-0 up, and they are doing what they have to do. They are doing well.
It's Esperance who have had the greatest share of possession so far, but Mazembe with the only goal to this stage. Played in the Confederation Cup last season with Monastir. Helped the side reach the quarter-finals of last season's competition. As part of the Monastir side that actually beat Esperance in the 2020 Tunisian Cup final. Helped Monastir claim their first trophy since the club was founded back in 1923, now wearing the colours of Les Sang et Or, the blood and gold. Maria. Diagonal ball up ahead to Bugera. Now just to keep it in play. Looking to cause problems here for Keita, but he's just passed astray. Tala. Tambwe was part of the Mazembe team that played in the 2021 Champions League group stage, but actually make an appearance in that competition. Ending that 2-year wait for a return this year.
Fofana has been looking lively in this game. He scored, and I think he's been the target man for TP Mazembe. They're looking up to him, and he's been the live wire. His movements, he comes and then he goes behind the defense, and he looks like a confident striker.
He's not had too many opportunities, but every time he gets involved, he certainly does look a threat. He's epitomised by the fact he's the scorer of the only goal. Free kick goes against Mazembe and Kinzumbi. Foul on at Zadem. Ben Hamida chips it forwards. Bugera. Ben Hamida. Catch up. To poke it back to Bugera. Just about succeeded in doing so. To Kat. Maria. Return ball to Kat again. To find some pockets of space here, Esperance. Two of white and black shirts defending deep for Mazembe. Holding firm for now, that back line. Maria. He caught in possession. As the Konza, we put him under pressure. The Mazembe players down here just receiving some medical attention. Follow through, I think, from catcher. Prepared to catch Badamasi, but able to shake it off pretty quickly. Just want to go back to something that Kevin Mondeko said in the pre-match press conference. He said that last season the problem was more in their minds, their heads, rather than a question of talent. The change of coach has brought about a different mindset. Just wonder how much of an impact can that have, a coaching change? How can he, help you get out of a rut as a team?
Yeah, sometimes it changes the momentum of the players. It changes the mindset of the players. Sometimes there are players who don't have playing time, and when a new coach sets in, they feel like it's open for a chance for everybody to play, and it changes the energy of a team. Sometimes it's a good thing for a team, and even for the players who are not playing previously, and I think it's sometimes it's good.
Chance for cross here. It's not a bad one either. It's eluded everyone. I think it's going to skip out for an Esperance throw, but it was curled into a fine area by Kinzumbi. Escaped down that left-hand side. A couple of teammates to try and pick out. Quite managed to do so, but got themselves into a good situation there at Mazembe. positive mindset when they get the ball. The Congolese side looking to really pose problems for Esperance. Ben Hamida's caught in possession there. One back by Kinzumbi. Closed down quickly the strike from Henekoi, but they still have it here. This is Fofana. Keeps it alive, the strike here, and it's straight at Memish. Caught it sweetly. Too close to the goalkeeper though, unfortunately for Mazembe. It's getting into a tangle there, Mortallo, but able to sort his feet out in time. And here they come again. Fofana once more. Might fall here for Henekoi. It's a bit of a tangle with the Esperance defender. Just be a goal kick in the end. It was part of the Esperance side that won the CAF Champions League for the very first time in 1994. Tarek Tebe. His team trailing though by a goal to nil. Just over 30 minutes played in Dar es Salaam. Mamu. So, making kindly to him. Mamu. Watching it long, it's going to drop here for Ben Hamida, but it's the cleanest of first touches. And the court is opponent Magloire and Tambay with his follow through. Going for the same ball, boots raised. It was Hamida, the Esperance captain, who was beaten to it. C80. Ball upfield. On well by El Ayeb. With Mondeko now though. Still it's Esperance with the majority of possession. Found it difficult though the past 20 minutes or so to really break down the Mazembe back line. A couple of early sights on goal, but since then, has it been any kind of tactical adjustments, or have they just tightened things up and they've looked a little bit more assured, Mazembe?
Yeah, I think Mazembe are a confident team right now. You know, they are being the aggressive team in this game, and they've scored one. And what surprises me is the way Esperance is playing. You know, they are playing the ball on their feet. They are not playing like the way as if they are losing this game. You know, they are very, very calm. You know, they are not moving into spaces. You know, there is no penetrative passes, and that is the most surprising thing so far. But I think it's a well-deserved 1-0 victory for TP Mazembe, because they are the aggressive team right now.
Got to be careful here though. Ball falling for Bugera, and they've got a free kick in a dangerous position, Esperance. Listen to count. Player rolling around on the ground. It's going to be a free kick from about 25 yards or so. The one initially by Ntambwe, but it was Bugera, who laid it off to Care. He was then brought down. Well, Bugera certainly placed the ball down with some intent here. And his debut for Tunisia. An African Cup of Nations qualifier against Equatorial Guinea in June, alongside his Esperance teammates Wael Derbali. He's among the players on the bench this afternoon at Derbali. Trying to make sure the wall is to his liking at Baggio at C80. Garrett, discussion with Takar. It does look as if it's going to be Bugera to try his luck. Up he steps, he's trying to sneak it round the wall or what there, but he lacked conviction in that attempt. About staying in, well, it hadn't, in fact, it had gone out for a moment, as if TP Mazembe might be able to play on, but linesman did eventually confirm it had gone out for a throw. It's the area, and again, it's headed away by Tambwe. Long by Ben Hamida. Zadam to settle for the throw. Important a few minutes here before half-time for Mazembe. Holding on to that slender advantage. We saw in the first game that Simba switched off right at a key moment and were punished by Al-Ahly, conceding a first half stoppage time. To their credit, they did bounce back remarkably early in the second half, to eventually be pegged back, and game finished at 2-2. Same ground 2 days ago. Alea. So it's gone out. Haven't seen too much of him so far, Kebaso. Had that early chance where he decided to lay it off rather than have a shot himself. How can they get him more involved in this first half, particularly, well, potentially the second as well?
I think they need to get him involved in the game a bit, because he's the only one who's trying to attack the space. You know, although sometimes his decision making has been a suspect. You know, but they should try and use him as a wall a bit. You know, to play the ball, get some players to support him, and then we see what happens. But so far, as you said, he's never been the target man so far. You know, it's been very, very difficult.
All of the play for Esperance has developed down the left-hand side, but really been able to properly trouble Baggio Saidi so far. Tambwe. Nice first touch from Heinekoi. Fofana trying to make something of it. Heinekoi gets it back. Bugera. All two players of a similar age. Fofana and Kebaso. One of them far more influential so far. Area. Mamu. Fofana. Siadi just taking his time over things. Long searching ball upfield, but that skip through for Mamish to come and collect. Alayab. Takar. Gives it straight back to Mazembe. Ziadi. Takar. This would play from Takar and looking to draw the foul there. Referee told him to get up. Konza. Tambwe. Zadem. Any obvious tactical alterations you see that Esperance might want to make for the second half, or they wait a bit before making those changes?
I think they need more offensive players. They need players that can exploit the spaces behind the defense, because it looks like the way they are possessing the ball, everybody is receiving the ball on the feet, which is, for me, I don't think it's a team who wants to score. If you want to score goals, you need to get players moving behind defense, coming and moving, and that is what they're lacking right now.
It's a good weighted ball in behind there, and well, it's going to be a free kick, but very nearly got in behind the defender. I think that's the kind of thing you're talking about there, Asamoah, just making those runs, just really asking questions of the defence, using their speed. TP Mazembe, Esperance have looked quite static for the most part in this first half. Mazembe, they've had less of the ball, but when they get it, they look a bit more dynamic, get forward a bit more speed, a bit quicker. Zumbi. Esperance have had almost double the number of shots, but just 2 on target for both sides in this first half. Fofana. And Hamida. This is So. Now, was he caught when he shot there? Keba So. Stayed down.
So has been very, very slow with his execution. When you get to the box as a striker, you need to make something happen. He's a bit slow for my liking. He needs to just show his presence, with his size and his everything. He needs to show his presence. But when he has the ball, he's a bit slow up front.
I wonder if he just caught the heel of an opponent here as he was going to shoot. He was closed down and started to get back up at Kebaso. Was a little bit hesitant though, taking aim, just allowed the defender to get back and be off balance as he went to strike that ball. Just when it looked like Esperance might have an opportunity to snatch and equalise late in this first half. It was edge to the right, So to the left. So was the option that Ben Hamida went with. A couple of minutes added on here for stoppages at the end of this first half. So rather gingerly makes his way to the touchline. So play restarts and Mazembe sportingly give it back to Esperance. Area onto forwards, so back up and running. Good to see from an Esperance perspective, and it's going to be a yellow card for the Mazembe skipper, Kevin Mondeko. Right to the end of this first half, we'll just need to be careful here. Mazembe not to lose focus. The interval just seconds away. Driven into the area towards the far post, headed back across goal by Ameria, and nodded behind for a corner kick. Well, not be a corner in fact, because the referee's assistant has his flag raised over on the far side, presumably against Ameria. Clearly just setting off a shade too soon. Siedi sips as he takes it, and that's the last act of the first half. Narrow lead for TP Mazembe over Esperance after the first 45 minutes. Cheikh Fofana with a goal, 1-0 to the Congolese side as it stands. So TP Mazembe with the narrow advantage after the opening at 45 minutes in Dar es Salaam. Cheikh Fofana's goal putting them in front against Esperance. This a clash of African heavyweights. Mazembe, 5-time African champions. Esperance have won it on 4 occasions. Worthy of their 1-0 lead so far, Asamoah?
Yeah, deservedly they deserve the 1-goal lead. They've been very, very aggressive from the beginning, although my problem was they're defending very deep, but they're having some success. Esperance has had a very, very quiet afternoon. They've not been able to play the way they want to play. They are not attacking the space. They've been very, very static, as you said, and they are not playing like they want to. They want to win the game. I hope something changes in the second half.
Well, we'll see what the Esperance coach Tarek Tevitt comes up with at half-time. This team really looked at all that threatening in the first half. With the highlights for you momentarily. First look at the statistics from the first 45 minutes. Esperance with more of the possession, more shots as well, but level in terms of shots on goal, just 2 apiece for both sides. One yellow card picked up late up by the Mazembe skipper, Kevin Mondeko. It was 8 games and counting without a goal being conceded by Mazembe. And they're on course as things stand to make it 9. They can hold out for another 45 minutes, but plenty of football still left in this one. Of course, the second leg to come in just 3 days' time. Quick turnaround. This game initially scheduled for Saturday. Pushed back 24 hours, and that means there'll be less recovery time for both sets of players for the return clash in Tunis. The winner of this tie will go on to face either Wydad Casablanca of Morocco or Nigeria's Enyimba in the semi-finals of that clash. And go through to the two-legged final in early November for the right to be crowned the very first champions of the African Football League. So we'll look at the highlights from the opening 45 minutes. Esperance made a reasonable start. They had a good chance as well. It was Asamoah volleying straight at Badju Saidi. Some nervy moments early on in that defence for TP Mazembe. Quite at the races from the get-go, but they quickly tightened things up. And this was the opening goal. 11 minutes in, ball swung in from the right-hand side by Philippe Kanzumbi. Corner taken short, and it was Cheikh Fofana, the teenager, rising high to power home a header beyond Amanala Mamish. Got caught under it badly, Mohamed Ben Ali. No match for Fofana as he towered above him, planting the header past Mamish, despite the best efforts of the Esperance goalkeeper. Esperance would try and ask more questions, but they struggled to really test Badju Saidi. Far too close to him. No one really in the vicinity to get on the end of that cross. Really a summary of how things panned out in that first half for the visiting side. There's no surprise to see Fofana again involved. Working the ball in dangerously. Just able to find a teammate to get on the end of it. Fofana shifting the ball past a couple of Esperance players. Long-range hit from Gloria Leconza, right down the throat of Mamish. So 1-0 at half-time to TP Mazembe. Esperance with their work cut out for them. 45 minutes though remain in this first leg. Both teams are back out ahead of the start of this second half, and it looks as if the Congolese side, TP Mazembe, are going to make a half-time substitution. Augustine Oladapo, the Nigerian, stripped down and ready to come on. He's going to take the place of Useni Badamasi, the Niger midfielder. So Oladapo on for this second half. Badamasi, the man to make way. Signed from Enyimba in August of last year. Oladapo was a vital part of the Enyimba side that made the Confederation Cup semi-final in 2018, as well as the quarters in 2020 and 2021, to really make the same impact with Mazembe. We'll try and help them hold on to, if not build, their lead here in this second half. They lead Esperance by 1-0. The third of the 4 African Football League quarter-finals. It's the first leg in Dar es Salaam. Jake Fofana with the goal that currently separates the two teams. A good marauding run here early on from Akacha. Has to clip it in. Appeals for a penalty from some of the Esperance coaching staff and a couple of players as well. It'll just be a corner kick. Zeko clutching his chest. That's in the midriff. The ball striking at Mondeko. Zadem to take this corner kick. No, just asking him to briefly wait. Delivered in, and it's well claimed by Siadi. Tries to launch the counter as well. The ball just held up as it came down, and it's Kanzumbi slow to get up, and Esperance looking to take advantage. Oladapo getting an early feel for the ball. Kanzumbi still down from the right-hand side. Well, that kind of run that Yacha made to the start of the second half was perhaps exactly the thing that Esperance were missing in that first half. Do you think that was something that was brought up at half-time?
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, they've at least started something aggressive. They started running behind him, a bit aggressive, and this is what they want. You have to have a sense of urgency, and I think that is what Esperance is trying to do. I hope they continue to do that, and the game will be much interesting.
Esperance coach Tarek Tabit has stuck with the same 11 that finished the first half. It's both coaches able to make up to 5 substitutions. Perhaps just waiting to see how the first few minutes of this second half go before switching things up.
And I think TP Mazembe wants to get another goal, because the kind of change that he made, he brought an offensive player who I think will be very, very encouraging for the team as well. He wants more goals, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, Oladapo hasn't quite hit the same heights he reached with Enyimba since moving to Mazembe, but he's certainly a player capable of getting himself on the score sheet. As part of the Nigeria side, and they reached the 2018 African Nations Championship final. Ultimately beaten 4-0 by Morocco on that occasion. A player of pedigree brought on at half-time. Mazembe to perhaps carve out an even greater advantage ahead of Wednesday's second leg. How much of an impact will that have, the one less day of recovery these two sides will have, the game being pushed back 24 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's a fine strike, just over the top.
Wow, that was a great strike.
Nothing.
Great strike, great strike. This individual brilliance. Yeah, how kudos to him. I wish this ball could have entered.
Let's have another look at it. It was headed towards Hanekoi and it flashed just over the crossbar. Kinzumbi back up and headed on to Hanekoi. Well, ever so well, the Niger international. The second goal that would have been. Fofana. It's going to bounce nicely for Mazembe, but they're not reaching its intended recipient there. And Keita committing the foul over on that far side. Keita, again, getting the job done fairly well, and it's Siadi out to pouch the ball. Samway quite readjust, the ball was dipping over his shoulder. So they get him more involved in this second half. Esperance, the young Gambian, rather isolated in that first half. Still dropped a little bit deeper for the time being. Bugera hopping around in a spot of discomfort. It's caught by Malume. Maria. Benali, again by Tkar. Mamu, he's given it away there. Could they be in here? Mazembe, ball held up and Fofana beaten to it just as he was trying to get a shot off. Esperance not doing enough to thwart the opportunity there for Mazembe. It's rather a gift wrapped by Amamu. Gave the ball away necessarily. Fofana, player here penalised for the foul on Catcher. Just want to go back to that earlier point, Asamoah, with just the 2 days of recovery between this and the next match. Is that something the coach has to factor in terms of the substitutions he makes and perhaps the lineup he picked for the second leg as well?
2 days of recovery is very, very short for players. You know, I think physically and mentally, you know, I think the coach has to find a way to manage the players. You know, because it's a very, very, very short time, and This is where the medical team has to jump in and then see how they're going to manage the players, because sometimes physically it's also there, and mentally it affects the players. Sometimes they might fail, they might get injuries or something. You know, it's a very, very huge task, and it affects the players mentally and physically.
Too much on that pass for Bugera. Just able to shepherd it behind. To get it forward again at Mazembe. Easy header though for Ben Hamida. Fafana trying to stretch those legs, but Maria using his experience there just to make sure he's in the right position. Use his body as well to get across and shield the ball away from Fafana. Well, a few signs in this first 10 minutes of the second half that Esperance are going to create too many chances. Haven't really been threatening whatsoever. Maybe just waiting to the hour mark before rolling the dice and altering things tactically as well as in terms of personnel. Zadem just wouldn't quite sit for him. Allowed Tambwe just to poke his boot in. Amamu. On either side, able to hold on to the ball for too long at the moment. It's got a passage here put together by Esperance. Strike from distance. It was really going to trouble Siani, but he's not happy. The time afforded to Zadem there. Deco got across to try and block. Ball just fizzed beyond him. We are going to see a change finally for Esperance. I'm surprised to see going for an attacking substitution. A couple of changes, I think, by the looks of things. It is the teenager Kebaso who will make his way off. We're going to have the Brazilian Rodriguez, just joined the club in September from Juventude in his homeland. A couple of Brazilians, in fact, entering the fray. Jan Sess, also brought on by Tarek Tebe. Good marauding run forward here from Keita. There's a man to his right. May have just overhit that. In fact, it looks like he's picked out the weight perfectly. Oladapo trying to get it onto his left. Gets the shot off. Well over in the end. Let's see if some Brazilian flair can help liven things up here for Esperance.
Yeah, I think all the coach needs is to bring an offensive player, because he's trailing by 1-0, and he needs to keep knocking at the doors from TP Mazembe, and I think that is what he tried to do now. So the way they are passing the ball has never been encouraging since the first half, you know. But I hope something changes in the second half.
Zadem, the player to make way in that double substitution for Esperance. This is Takao. Put forward again, but he's been rock solid pretty much all game. Keita down that right-hand side of the Mazembe defence. He could run forward just moments ago too. Montapo able to feed. Keita with the layoff. And he on his side the free kick. Fofana matching on to that flick forwards. Just able to keep it in play too. Oladapo. Keita into the area, headed away. Showed too much of the ball there, GYAN Sass. And Mazembe have it back. Driving into the area, pokes it across the face of goal. Should be able to just about keep this ball in play. Catcher, as he caught from behind, came straight through the back of him there. Referee, it's a word. More talent, the left back. Area. Benali. The feet of Rodriguez. Here's Gacha. Finds Rodriguez again. Rodriguez through the legs, and they have the equaliser. Wonderful pass through from Rodriguez, and the ball crashed into the roof of the net. And Esperance, after that double switch, wasting little time to haul themselves back on level terms. It's the other Brazilian, GYAN Sass, with the fine finish. Well, that double change has worked a treat for Esperance. Rodriguez poking it through the legs of the defender. Running onto it was GYAN Sass. One touch, and then a second just to prod it into the top corner. Nothing that Baggio said he could do about that, and we said they needed to throw on some more attacking options, and it's a move that's been rewarded by the goal there. GYAN Sass, the man to get it.
Yeah, I think it's been a very, very good changes from the coach, and they've had the results right now. And earlier we spoke about TP Mazembe defending very, very deep, you know, and I think that was the problem, because when you have the player, all the defense has to just make sure they move away, but they were still in the box waiting, and then they were punished by that. But you cannot take anything away from the striker. He did what he had to do. Great goal and good teamwork, good passing, and then they deserve the 1-1 lead, 1-1 draw.
Well, there's been a very distinct Brazilian flavour to a couple of the opening games so far. It was the Simba coach Robertinho who made a couple of changes against Al Ahly, and he was handsomely rewarded as his side came from a goal down to go into a 2-1 lead against the Egyptian Giants before ultimately drawing 2-2. The two Brazilian substitutes here linking up perfectly. Perhaps just being looked over by the video officials. Referee waiting before giving the restart after that goal. Still just checking. We're going to have a VAR check here. Well, the decision is going to be offside. The goal, in fact, is not going to stand. Now look at the reaction from the crowds. Delighted. The goal's been scrubbed off. It's a wonderfully taken one, but it's not going to count ultimately. Offside, the verdict. Just confirmation. There's in fact no goal there, and well, it could be a chance here for Mazembe to go 2-0 ahead just after the equalising goal was taken away from Esperance. Perhaps still stewing over what could have been. And it was Philippe Kinzumbi who almost snuck in. Just seemed to read the bounce of the ball better than the defender there. Didn't quite have the pace and the finish to beat Mamish. This is Kinzumbi again, as his cross that set up the only goal so far. Oladapo. Keita. Oladapo coming short for it, but knocked back to Tambwe. Oladapo. Oh, quite a swinging momentum there, Asamoah. Just when it looked as if Esperance had the equalising goal, it was then disallowed. And then seconds later, Mazembe very nearly doubling their advantage here. Bugera on the counter. It certainly could be a key moment in this match, in this tie.
Yeah, I think after the goal was disallowed, Kizumbi made a very great run. He did everything by himself, you know, individual brilliance. He used his pace, and rather unfortunately he couldn't bury the ball. You know, he should have gone a bit further and shoot with the left, but it was a great move from Kizumbi.
They've got themselves into trouble again here, Esperance. A little more composure, and Mazembe could have been in there. It's as if they had a 3-on-2 situation, but a rather rash decision just to knock it forward straight away. Bugera. Sass. Bugera skips through to Sass. Flanks back off the Brazilian. It'll be a Mazembe throw-in. Coming up to the midway point in this second half. Well, Tarek Tabe thought he'd got it bang on with those two substitutions. Denied by a VAR review, a VAR check for offside. Oladapo. Turn from Oladapo, but lost his footing. Gives himself the free kick just inside his own half. Third change coming up here for TP Mazembe. It's going to be Alex Nkonga, the Zambian. Comes on in place of Henekui. This was the very tight offside decision. Right one in the end. Rodriguez, just that left foot of his straying beyond the last defender. Very fine margins. The difference between being 1-0 and 1 apiece. Ultimately, decision that went in Mazembe's favour. I'll stand corrected, that's just the second change, in fact, that Mazembe have made. Another one coming at half-time. The best of first touches from the substituting Gonga. It's another bite at the cherry here, though. Towards the foul. Joined from Nkana in January, and a couple of years in Gabon as well with Munana and Ganga. And 2 goals in his past 3 games domestically. We're just having a quick word with Hussein Takao. On Deco. Well, with the exception of the first 3 meetings between these teams, the last 5, the 2 teams have accounted for just the 4 goals between them. 5 and 6 if you count today's match as well, but certainly not been goal-filled affairs in recent times. With that in mind, surely Mazembe would love to get a second goal, 2-goal cushion heading to Tunisia in a couple of days' time. Benardi. Area over to Amamu. Sass shifts it out to the left-hand side. Whipped in deep towards the far post. Acrobatic clearance. Away from Takao, right to Dapo. Good first touch from Kinzumbi there. Keeps the ball in play. Keita. See what he's trying to do, trying to pick out Lekonza. Set off into the box instead. Esperance and Bugera. Bursting forward, Bugera. Again, drawing the contact. Arm across from Glomuluma. Mamu, Ilaya, Maria, Mamu again. And Hamida, Bugera should get there. It's to try and pull it back, but again, Keita says, "You're not getting past me." And a thump forward by Ntambwe. scoop over towards Al-Ayeb. To keep hold of it, gets it back here, Al-Ayeb. Down towards Hatcha, the right-hand side, but well read and kept in too. On Deco. Area to Cap. Ben Ali. One more quarter-final to come later on this evening. Between Enyimba of Nigeria and Wydad Casablanca. The last of the 4 quarter-final first legs. Kinzumbi to escape down the right. Kinzumbi cutting inside. Kinzumbi! And it's turned behind by Mamish. Terrific hit there from Kinzumbi. He's definitely been a player who stood out today, Asamoah.
Exactly. Kinzumbi in the second half has been a threat, and he's been doing everything for TP Mazembe. Whenever he has the ball on the right side, comes in, uses his space, his technique and everything. And obviously he's been the man who's standing out for in this game actually.
Venomous strike, and it's very nearly burst through the hands of Mamish. Did well in the end to parry it behind. Wonderful left foot. Possessed by Kinzumbi. It's proved a real thorn in the side for Esperance today. Cater with the corner in. It's going to bounce out for a throw. Favour of TP Mazembe here. Make a third change here. Mazembe, Joel Obeya. It's going to come on in place of the goal scorer, Jake Fafana. Gonga is back to goal and rolls through his legs, picked up by Mamish. Just want to ask you for your thoughts on the goal scorer today, Jake Fafana. Asamoah, what did you think of him, the youngster?
After Fofana scored the goal, I think he's been involved in more defensive work, and I think his energy level is very, very good, and he's been withdrawing to help the team. And offensively, he has done quite well offensively. He did so much in the first half, and the second half he's been a bit quiet because of the way Esperance is playing. He has to track back, and sometimes it's good for the team. You need to sacrifice.
Bit of a slice clearance there from Mundeko, and this could be trouble here for Mazembe. We're not too sure whether he can pick it up. He does so in the end. Ball coming off. Ngala Malume, as he got back to cut out that pass inside the area. Fafana has worked very hard today, given a breather here late on, replaced by Joel Obeya. Started the first leg of the Champions League second round qualifier against Big Bullets. Almost 4 years at the club now for Obeya. Maria. Oh, just the one shot in the second half for Esperance. Had 7 in the first. Did have what they thought was an equalising goal ruled out for a very tight offside, but really haven't asked enough questions. This is Hachat, deflected, and it's going to be a corner here for Esperance. Time running out for the Tunisians if they are to level this first leg. Otherwise, they'll have a deficit to overturn at home on Wednesday. And Sass, signed from Wellington Phoenix, playing the A-League, the New Zealand-based club. Joined in August, he'll be the man to take this corner. A deep one it is towards the far post, over the head of everyone. It's going to roll harmlessly behind for a goal kick. Long ball driven forward, looking for Ngonga. Well played though by Amamu. Into the final 10 minutes here at the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium in Tanzania. Bugera didn't have that. A good opportunity in the early minutes of this one. Benali. Hachat. Just got the wrong side of his man here. Hachat pulls it back. Hits the deck. Benali. Oh, scrambled clear, and the referee has blown his whistle, telling Benali to get to his feet. Didn't really look to be much in that appeal there, that shout. Player did find himself in a rather awkward position, but it appeared to make any real contact. Siadi. Flicked on. Zakar takes it back to Mamish. Almost through this third of the four quarterfinals. Asamoah, which team has impressed you the most so far from what you've seen?
So far, the team that has impressed me, honestly, has been TP, Simba, although they were underdogs coming to the game against Al-Ahly. They were able to perform. They were able to match Al-Ahly boot to boot. And then they had a draw, although they had a draw, which doesn't look good for them.
Esperance here just looking to string something together. The shot from Rodriguez quickly closed down. Back with Hatcher here, swings it in. Did enough there to get it clear, the defender. Using his thigh. Somewhat unorthodox way of clearing it. Well, Simba certainly went blow for blow with the big guns on at Friday in the opening game. Quite the spectacle to kick off this African Football League. Exhilarating 2-2 draw between Simba and Al-Ahly in the first of the quarterfinals. Those teams will do it all again in Egypt on Tuesday. Sundowns with a 2-goal advantage heading to the home leg of their tie with Angola's Petro Atletico, the Luanda-based club. GYAN Sass with the free kick. And once more, holding firm that Mazembe defence. A bit of a coming together there between Hatcher and Mortala, the Senegalese left back, but tempers quickly Dying down, it's poked through here. Could be the equalising goal, and he's put it wide. Well, that was a glorious chance for Esperance. The substitutes in disbelief. Bit of a bolt out of the blue there. Esperance seemingly knocking on the door with a chance to equalise late on. That's a chance that's gone begging. I'm not quite sure what Hatcher was doing there. Although, in fairness, it wouldn't have counted. The flag was raised over on this near side. Nonetheless, though, a curious decision to backheel it into his teammate when he was clean through on goal. Be a relief, man, to see that the linesman had his flag raised. It's been a bit of a funny performance today from Esperance, that they've got themselves into some good positions at times, not all that regularly, but they have from time to time. But some of the decision making has left a bit to be desired, I think it's fair to say.
Exactly, to be fair to say, their decision making since the first half. So even had Sam in the first half, he tried to bring it back instead of shooting, and then that is what we saw in the second half, which has been very, very frustrating for me. Their decision making has been very, very awful this afternoon.
Just under 5 minutes of the 90 remaining in this one. Well, there'll be a late twist in the tail to count. Good run through the middle here, laid off. Again, just not taking advantage in that final third. This time it was Ngala Malume who saw his ball into the area, dealt with by Meria. Just making sure the right numbers up on the board here. To be a triple change made by Esperance. Wahabi, the number 23, is going to come on, along with Mohamed Ali Ben Hamouda. Mohamed Amin Tugay, a third of the players introduced late on by Tariq Tabi. Corner here for Mazembe, swung in, and Mamish that's a bit of a mess there with his defence. Miscommunication, and on the end it's going to be a goal kick, but a bit of a fright there. Mazembe going to use this stoppage as well to make another change. Soze Zemanga taking the place of Glody Leconza. Played at this year's African Nations Championship as Zemanga for the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's part of the Mazembe side that reached the Confederation Cup semi-finals in 2022 as well. Mazembe boss Amin Njai. This side can lock down the win here, but they've got to be on their guards. What's the decision going to be? It's going to be a goal kick. A late goal here for Esperance would really change the complexion of this tie. They'll be at home in the second leg. Mazembe on the verge of making it 9 games without conceding. Free kick here for the Congolese side, and will allow them just to run a few more seconds off the clock. Wahabi fresh into the action. And the number 23 for Esperance. He's the captain of the Tunisian side at the Under-20 World Cup earlier this year. Also played for his country at the Under-20 African Cup of Nations in Egypt as well. Siadi. We're going to have 7 minutes of time added on, so still plenty of time left for Esperance here. Wahabi. Shifting inside is Ben Hamida. Looking for someone to lay the ball off to. And Sass. Ben Hamida is going to give chase. All shielded from him. This is Bayer. Taylor. So back to Siadi. Sass. Struggling really to create anything here, Esperance. The closing minutes. It's been the story of the second half. Asamoah, for you, gets to name a man of the match, or at least a candidate for it. Who would you go for?
Man of the match is, for me, I think Kisumbi has done a great job in the second half. He's been the only threat at the moment for both sides. Although Fofana scored a goal, but I think for my man of the match, I'll go for Kisumbi for TP Mazembe.
It was Kazumbi who set up the only goal. As cross headed home powerfully by Fofana in the 11th minutes of this showdown. Caused problems time and again for Esperance. And that's a favoured left foot of his. It's been a tireless display as well from him. Still out there. As we head into the 93rd minute. Nice boot from Al Oladapo. Concedes the free kick. Can they snatch something at the death there, Esperance? Ben Hamida showing the yellow card just a couple of moments ago. Esperance captain. Both captains now had their name taken by the referee. Dapo giving chase across to cover an area, but Dapo looked to have won it back and can't quite believe the referee's whistled him for a foul, but to get back into position. Lovely piece of control there from Kinzumbi. He's done well to win it back too. Dapo Flipped over the top, and Gonga got there first. And Gonga, now was he caught by a two guy? And that's going to be an offside decision that goes against him regardless. There's two guys penalty against AS Douane. The first leg of the second round of Champions League qualifying that sent Esperance through to the group stage. Sent off though in the Tunisian top flight recently. The heavy challenge that as well, but side flag had gone up, so ultimately Esperance getting the ball back. But it is Bayer here looking to break through down the left. Not a bad ball in, and well defended. Could he have perhaps cut it back to a teammate who looked to be unmarked? Second goal for Mazembe would really put them in a good spot going into the return. 4 minutes still to play here. It's going to be a throw instead of a corner. I'm going to try and just keep the ball deep in Esperance territory. Gonga. Fair result on based on what you've seen today?
Fair results. I think Esperance is not playing like it's got a sense of urgency. It's been very, very difficult afternoon for them. They are not attacking the space, and I think it's a fair result for TP Mazembe because they've been the aggressors. Although they are leading, you could see they are even fighting and then trying to score more goals.
Well, they have looked the more likely to add to their advantage in this second half. Remains the strike kill in the first half from Sheikh Fofana. What is the difference between these two clubs? One last roll of the dice here, perhaps for Esperance. Plenty of players forwards. Free kick. Launch into the box. Drops kindly for them. Ben Hamouda. Ball bounces wide of the near post, and Siedi happy to watch it go behind. Referee calling for a stretch, not quite sure what happened there, but Mazembe, the player down. Was Keita who was challenging for that free kick as it came in, and then got back to his feet, but then quickly sat back down. Perhaps the exertions of 100 minutes or so in Dar es Salaam today. He's been very solid at right back and not been afraid to get forward at times as well. A Mauritania international. I just wonder if that's a problem with his arm there. Well, there goes the final whistle. It is all over. The first leg of this African Football League quarter-final between TP Mazembe and Esperance. Just the one goal in it, coming in the first half thanks to the teenage striker Sheikh Fofana, giving the Congolese side the narrow advantage at the halfway points of this tie. The final score this afternoon, TP Mazembe 1, Esperance 0. So the 5-time African champions getting the better of the 4-time CAF Champions League winners by the slenderest of margins. Sheikh Fofana rising high to power home. A header in the 11th minute, set up by Philippe Kinzumbi, one of the standout performers today. Based on what you've seen in this first leg, can Mazembe get the job done in the second in Tunisia?
I think they've played a very, very good game today, and the second leg is going to be very, very difficult for TP Mazembe, because Esperance at home is a very, very tough side to beat at home, and hopefully anything can happen. Maybe they might go there for a draw or probably a win, but I think winning in Tunis here against Esperance will be very, very difficult for TP Mazembe.
Well, it's now 9 meetings between these sides, and never before has the away team come away with the victory. Fortunately for TP Mazembe, they do have a 1-goal advantage heading into the return leg on Wednesday. To get back amongst the big clubs at the top in African football after a few seasons of disappointment. Back in the CAF Champions League, which kicks off in just about a month's time with the group stage. Made a promising start to the African Football League. For Esperance, plenty to ponder. First, they will have the thoughts of Lamine Njai.
Yes, congratulations for the win. What is your tactical point of view after 90 minutes of the game?
Coach, félicitations pour la victoire. Quel est votre point de vue par rapport au match tactique que vous avez fait aujourd'hui?
Merci d'abord. C'était un match très très difficile. Je pense que les matchs Espérance Mazembe, c'est toujours des matchs épiques. Et aujourd'hui, on a eu la chance d'ouvrir le score. Je pense qu'on avait d'autres possibilités pour rajouter encore 1 ou 2 buts. Malheureusement, on n'a pas eu la réussite qui va avec. Et c'est dommage. C'est dommage.
How was the game?
Comment vous avez trouvé maintenant globalement le match?
C'était un match équilibré. Honnêtement, c'était un match équilibré. Par moment, de part et d'autre, les équipes pouvaient marquer. Mais bon, je pense qu'on a eu la réussite qui va avec la victoire aujourd'hui, parce qu'ils se sont aussi créés, surtout en début de match, pas mal d'occasions.
Merci. Merci. You scored the decision goal of the match. How is your feelings?
Tu as marqué le premier but dans ce match. Comment tu as senti ça?
Bon, j'étais très content. J'étais très content pour le but. Parce que c'était un match très très difficile. Comme tout le monde le savent. Donc on a pu assurer. J'ai marqué le premier but. Ça m'a fait du bien. Ça m'a donné de la confiance. Donc ça va.
Merci.
Ok, merci beaucoup.
Ukiwa naye zaidi ukae hapa ili aangalie kamera. Sawa. Ngoja kwanza unaongea Kiarabu, tunamsubiri mtu ako na nini. You lost the match away, 1-0. What went wrong in your tactical?
Can you repeat, please? I can't hear.
You lost 1-0 away.
Okay.
What went wrong tactical?
واحد بلاش لهنا شو تستنيه في مباراة العودة؟
اكيد نظن اللي المباراه كانت جيده بصراحه. اليوم اللاعبين قدموا اداء جيد. كنا في العشر دقائق الاولين كنا ممتازين. اول كره توصلنا تسجل بها هدف على ركنيه. هذه احكام الكره. حاولنا، كانوا اللاعبين نتاعنا بصراحه طولة الشوط الاول كنا معناتها واخذين بزمام النوم، لكن ما سجلناش. نظن اللي الشوط الثاني حاولنا باش نسجلوا، جونا فرص، سجلنا هدف اللي كان يمكن بالفار تنحى، لكن في نفس الوقت كانت الروح والرغبه في الرجوع في النتيجه كانت مهمه جدا من عند اللاعبين، وهذه اهم حاجه موجوده في الماتش هذا، اللي كانت فما رغبه كبيره من اللاعبين. حتى ولو خارج ارضنا كنا نجموا معناتها نخرج بنتيجه افضل من هيك. اليوم 1-0 مازالت 95 دقيقه في بلادنا. ان شاء الله نحضروا في 3 ايام هذول الفريق نتاعنا، وان شاء الله تكون معناتها الروح والرغبه هذه تتجسم من الماتش معاه تكتيكيا نكونوا افضل. ان شاء الله باذن الله النتيجه تكون لصالحنا في مباراه الاياب. وانا اللي شفته اليوم من اللاعبين باذن الله معناتها فما معناتها الترشح ان شاء الله يكون من حليفنا، على خاطر عندنا ثقه في اللاعبين بتاعنا، خاصه الرغبه اللي ابدوها اليوم في الماتش هذا في الخروج من نتيجه ايجابيه. لكن قدر الله ما شاء فعل، خسرنا 1-0. ان شاء الله ريكيبيرابل في مباراه الاياب ان شاء الله.
شكرا. Yes, you lost 1-0 away. As the players, how was the game?
Today is good game, very hard. Mazembe have a good team, but in my home, one game, good game, maybe win.
Do you think the game is over?
Why?
Do you think the game is over?
You think that the game is over?
Yes. No.
You think that the game is over? No, we have another game in Tunis.
No, I have another game in Tunis. Yes. One more time.
Thank you.
Okay?
He doesn't speak English very well. He's in Portugal. He's the only one who can speak.
So we'll look at the full-time statistics from today's game in Dar es Salaam. Esperance with almost 60% possession, 9 shots apiece. But it was TP Mazembe ultimately with the only goal of the game, which came courtesy of Sheikh Fofana early on in the first half. Let's have a look back at some of the key moments from the 90 minutes. This was the early chance for Asamoah and volley straight at Abadio Siadi as he managed to find himself with a bit of space inside the area, and then the only goal of the game on 11 minutes, Sheikh Fofana rising above Mohamed Ben Ali to meet the cross in from Philip Kinzumbi. He was excellent throughout for the Congolese side. Fofana as well, a real live wire in attack. And then this was right at the start of the second half, a bolt out of the blue, terrific hit. Just over the top from Abubakar Hennekoit. And a strike from distance from Amortez Zadem. Fizzing over the top of Abadio Siadi's goal. All over in fairness. And this was the moment that Esperance thought they had the equalising goal. The two Brazilian substitutes linking up to perfection. The ball slid through by Rodriguez through the legs of a defender. Crashed home by GYAN Sass, but after a VAR check, a very tight offside going against Esperance, and Rodriguez, left foot in an offside position. And the goal disallowed, and Mazembe holding on to their advantage.